Once again, it's on. It's your guy K Cheap with 96.1 The Beat iHeartRadio, and we are back with another Voice of Change town hall meeting. And this one is all about voting. And we have an illustrious panel with us today. I would like to say this is going to be a real good one. First, I'm going to start it off with my guy D right here that always helps me put this thing together. I appreciate you once again, D. Go ahead, introduce yourself just in case people don't know.
D. Smith, One Body ENT, K-Land Community Cares in the building. Peace.
Ladies first.
I'll go ahead. My name is Taliisa, and this is Ezra, and I am a local musician and just singer-songwriter. I also run my own business called Freedom Creators, and I'm having a show on October 10th at the Gold Room, so I hope to see you guys there. It's my single release party. And yes, also I'm a single mom, so you always see me with my baby or my guitar. So
awesome.
Hello, Southern Colorado. I'm Rachel Stovall, and I'm a longtime community advocate. I grew up here in the Pikes Peak region. Yes, I know, almost native. I write political opinion for the Gazette, and I also am the host of Rachel's Roundtable over at 95.7 FM. So I'm just glad to be with you guys today. And, you know, if you need something, hit a girl up.
Thank you for being here.
Perfect. Hey, everybody. My name is James Flowers, and I am a community influencer. I'm a retired Army veteran that moved, became a resident of Colorado. I live here in Fountain. I'm the board member for the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. I'm over the ambassador program. I'm the vice president for the Colorado Springs Black Business Network. I'm actually a community involved. I'm in everything, folks. You know, I'm glad to be here. You know, I just want y'all to know that we got some great people here, and I'm so thankful to be with all of you. And whatever you need done in Fountain, give us a call. We're here to help you. Back to you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. So my first question for you guys is, what made you get involved in the community? What started you guys in this?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh,
well, it's a very good question.
Mine is easy. I have to go first because you have to hear this story. So I was probably 26 or 27, and I'm sitting doing nothing in particular. I've been singing around town. Promise Lee dragged me by the ear. Do you hear me? It still hurts. He dragged me by the ear to a community meeting that was with then Magistrate Regina Walters. And we were talking about disproportionate minority confinement. The year was 1996. Can you believe that? The meeting turned into what most of you know today as the Educating Children of Color movement, that now has an annual event that has 1,000 kids and really helps them get into college prep, because we thought that was the intervention to interrupt the pattern in the life of the young and clog up the school to prison pipeline with something in the way so we could keep them kids out of jail. I love it though, but that was literally how I got involved in the community. I saw Promise yesterday and thanked him again.
Promise Lee's a good man. He touched a lot of people's lives in a real good way. That is so dope.
Absolutely true.
Well, mine is not exciting, but it just is passionate. You know, when I decided to stay here in Fountain, you know, I started looking around and said, when I was a recruiter for the Army, one thing they told me, once you leave recruiting, you should be able to run for a public office because everybody knows you. And I looked around here and I saw a lot of changes that we needed to make in Fountain, in El Paso County. I was like, well, why are these not getting done? Well, nobody brought it to our attention. So I started saying, well, what do we need to do bring to your attention? And I started researching on the 6 boards I like to call, or the successful 6 that are actually running a community, you know, and certain boards that anybody can join and can go visit. The Chamber of Commerce, City Council, School Board, the Urban Renewal Association, whatever name it may go by, Economic Development Center, and the HOA. Those 6 boards actually control or have influence over yourself, your children, and your business. So they have this much influence over these things. Shouldn't you be involved to help influence it to be productive for you and not for anybody else? So that's what got me involved in it, folks.
Awesome. And for me, I actually started making music during a very difficult time in my life. And it was the one thing that was able to heal me and to keep me going. And once I realized that power in the music, I realized that music, more and more, this music industry needs positive music, uplifting music, music that can empower the community. And doing community events alongside with music is a great way to bring awareness to a lot of different situations. I was able to do my first community fundraiser in Hawaii, actually, and I did an event and did raise money for this orphanage that I'm still in contact with called Born Like Others. If you guys go on my website, you can go and support them there. And that just filled me with so much happiness. And I just wanted to continue doing it. And since then, I've done fundraisers here in Colorado Springs at Sunshine Studios. I have more community events coming up just to empower the community, to bring awareness to local businesses, local musicians, local artists, and things like that. And also, I use my platform to speak on major issues that are going on, like things like domestic abuse and drug use and things like that. So I'm definitely blessed to be able to use my music in that sense to help out the community.
I like to say music is universal, like numbers and stuff like that. So you can touch a lot of people with music, and positive music is what I like to get with anyways. Yeah. I was going to let you slide, D, but how'd you get involved in this thing? What started this?
Well, I grew into it. My dad, he's a big influence in my life. He was my hero. And he's always been coaching and working with kids, and everybody that I know, call him Coach Tiny, call him Uncle Tiny. And, they just love him. It's funny when you see come up to him asking for
Your mic went out a little bit, D.
Huh?
Your mic, all right, there you go. Your mic was out a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so just to see them grown men come up to him and ask for some vitamins, just trips me out. He was a big influence in my life. And so, I just really wanted to step into his footprints and try to be like him. So that's really what got me into it. And, so that's the basis of it.
That's what's up. Your pops, holler to Coach Tiny, man. He was my coach for half of my childhood, too. So that might be why I am cool like you, too, a little bit, D. You dig? I grew up with D and Coach Tiny. I grew up in the South Side. I grew up right around the corner from John Adams. I used to walk past his house to get to school in the morning. My mom was a teacher in the community for 29 years. And it's funny, I fell into radio playing basketball, but it would just be, I got my platform so that I try to use it for positive reasons, and that's what we're here for today. So what do you guys think the power of our vote in our community is? We've had a few of these meetings, and it's crazy. I've heard two people talk about how somebody got elected with 350 votes one time in the Southeast. That is crazy. And just imagine, there's so many of us in the community that should not fly. So just, can you tell the people what the power of our vote is in our own community?
So let me, I love to chime off that. One big thing about the voting community, I tell people, is all about the numbers. In El Paso County, according to the stats, there's 720,000 people in the county. Currently, right now, as of October the 5th, I'm looking at it right in my eyes, only 436,000 are registered voters.
Right.
So that's less than 300,000 that are still not registered. So what does the power mean? That means 1/3 of our community is not being heard and can affect. So that's one major power right there. Right. The second one is the 2/3 who are registered to vote. Statistically, 25% of them are not going to vote.
Come on.
So any laws or any actions or any statements that we want to be done are not going to be heard because we're not all there. It's kind of hard for people to pass questionable laws and policies when you're right there.
Absolutely true.
I mentioned those 6 places that we need to be at. Who has ever been to a school board meeting? I remember back when we was kids, I'm teaching our age, when we used to go to PTA meetings. Mom and dad made us go, okay? But you know what? Things happen at PTA meetings because we were there. So these school board meetings, things are being passed and decided, and there's not being, we don't have the full say-so of the whole community that's being said there. And the same is true for school board, city council, chamber, EDC. I can go through those 6 all over again. So the power of our vote is us being there, one, to see what's going on, hear what's going on, and let us be heard. So that's one of the major powers. In order to be heard, you got to be there to be heard. There you go, folks.
So when you talk about voting, a lot of times we get very focused on national elections.
Mm-hmm.
And it is fine to do that. And so the numbers show us that more people vote for the national elections and less people vote for the local elections. But we have it backwards. The local elections are the ones that actually directly affect your life the great majority of the time. The media carries us stuff that's happening nationally, but most of the time, that's not necessarily what shows up in our everyday, except for when there's people in office that we don't like. Anyway, we need to vote for these things locally. They said that blue book out. We need to have the blue book. We need to study what the issues are, and we need to be paying attention. We cannot have what we want if we don't go and get it.
I meant to bring my blue book to this town hall just to show people. I had it sitting on the table today.
What?
I've been waiting for that. Hey, on everything.
That's our blue book for the day.
I remember back in the days. I pay full attention to everything nowadays. Like my mom called me the other day. Actually, my cousin is a sheriff out here, and he told me if he needs me, if I need to talk to him to know about who the good judges are on the system,
come on,
talk to him. Real talk. Good
talking about that blue book. Something I always want to ask. Why don't they have, like, a lack of better words, a Clip Notes version of the blue book? Why can't they make it? I just said it. I'm telling you.
Why don't we just make one? We could make us a Clip Note version, and then we would just tell people to do kind of, what we want them to. You know what I'm saying? We would be like, hey.
I'm glad you caught on what I was trying to say. Amen to that. But because that blue book comes out and it's already in small single space print, and it's so grammarly correct and such well elegantly put. It sounds so good. But you know what? It still doesn't tell you the meat and potatoes exactly who's affected, this side or this side. And that's what we need to know. Is it affecting the blue collar or the minority? Is it affecting the rich or is it affecting the poor? We can say what we want to say, folks, but those simple things will really help people to understand what they choose to vote for. Now, if you know, we're not telling you who to vote for, where to vote at. We're telling you need to know what it is you're voting for and when you're voting. So let's keep that in mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet. Let my sis chime in because I'm on a roll right now.
I mean, I totally agree. And just going off of like what Rachel was saying, I feel like even in the national election, people are like, well, I'm not going to register to vote because maybe they don't want to vote for the two, either the Republican or the Democratic. But they have to realize that there's also some very major bills and movements in the legislature that if you want to be a part of that change, that you need to go vote, and that is how we are very powerful, and even though we might not fully stand behind, maybe either the presidents, because that's what I've been hearing a lot as to why people don't want to go vote. But I'm like, but you have to understand that they have to go through different regulations. Like by you voting on those certain bills, that is your power right there, and then, and then I hear people complaining about, oh, why did this tax increase? And, why did this happen? Why are we allowing this? And I'm like, well, because who went and voted for it, you know?
Exactly.
I mean,
let me chime in. So I talked to the fellas earlier about that. You know, a lot of people say I'm not going to vote. It's a waste of my time, and it will make no difference. I'm not going to mention any particular celebrity people out there, but a gentleman that stated that he's starting a foundation that said we're going to not. A foundation said don't vote. I'm like, why would you say that? That makes no sense. You know, the people say that it doesn't make a difference. No, the difference is if you vote, it makes a difference because now your voice is being heard. It's being added to the voices already being spoken. You got to think of your vote like a drop of water. And a drop of water, dropping on a boulder over the next year, 2 years, 10 years, will actually break and split that boulder. But that one drop just drops, and that's it. That boulder will be there, and that boulder could be whatever is blocking you from what you want to do. That boulder could be the harassment has been blocking. That boulder could be any mistreatment that you're talking about. But if enough votes drop on that boulder, it will crack and it will move. So that's the difference between you voting and not voting. Going back, folks.
That's like earlier when you were talking about the thing that T.I. asked that question. When was America great again?
Oh,
that brings it kind of. You got to get out there and vote, or people.
Right.
There needs to be more of like-minded individuals like this panel to get. We need people like us in office, like people in this panel in office. We need to make legislative and the board and all that cool for people. So when we see these guys, they look like rock stars and you know the top of the tier for us too. You know what I'm saying? We need to make that cool for youngsters. So later on down the road, we don't have to go through this with all the Republicans and all this on that side. We don't have nobody in those seats. The seats should be how America really is. It's like a melting pot of all type of people. The minorities, there's more minorities. We're more of a majority than we are a minority nowadays.
You mentioned something about the boards. You know, I challenge everybody to look at those 6 boards I mentioned and look at who's all on those boards. You know, the diversity needs to be diverse, not just minority, but gender as well. You know, it's kind of hard to be saying we're talking helping all the people when we only have 1/4 of people being represented.
Yes.
You know? So, you know, and you said you had a key point, bro. If you can't join the board, at least join the meeting so you can tell someone who would join the board why they need to come to the meeting. Okay, I'm trying to hold it in, but I don't want to let it out. So,
go ahead. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
I just want to say that if you are going out and voting, make sure that you're educated on what you're voting for, because I feel like a lot of people aren't actually taking the time to like look into the different policies behind, you know, like each president, or, you know, really researching the bills before, you know, because sometimes the wording can be kind of weird and kind of, you know, so I just want people, like, for me, I've just been doing all kinds of research on both sides just so that I can really truly make an educated vote, you know, not just because, oh, somebody told me that this person's good, so I'm going to vote for them. You know, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And I think that we all need to do that. And in talking to other people out in the community like we are today, look, we're not bringing you shame if you haven't voted. One of the crazy things we did on air on my show, Rachel's Roundtable, we had my young producer register to vote, and we Facebook Live to show people how easy it is. It took like 2 minutes. It was awesome. But he had been through an experience where he's from in the Carolinas, where they were very mean to him at the polling place. So what did we do? We took a couple of minutes and got him up to speed on. In Colorado, you can have your ballot delivered to your house.
Yeah.
You know, we are really ahead of the curve, you know, better than most places in the nation, because we do have that convenience, and we can take a long time and you know, and kind of, you know, do what we want to do at the pace we want to do it. The other thing, you know what? Get your friends up and go, hey, have you voted yet? They're like, yeah. Okay, do you still have your ballot? Well, yeah. Look, that'll be the person who don't get it to the place on time, right? Because you know we all got that friend, and they're going to be late for everything, including their death. Drop by their house and grab it from them and take it over to the DMV. It'll take you an extra 5 minutes while you're running your errands.
I'm gonna add another challenge to that, Rachel. You know, a lot of people say, "Well, come voting day, I got to go to work. You know, I got this, that." Well, you know what? Business owners, managers, what if you gave your employees an extra hour before or after lunch, or extra hour before work or at the end of work to go and vote? What does that do for you? That shows you care about not just your employees, not just community, but the voting all together. Because hey, you know what? I gave you chance. So it also takes away that excuse. You say like, well, you know, I ain't got time to go. Yes, you do. You got time to get do everything else you want to do. We asking you for one day to do something that will help your community over the next 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Big ups to iHeartRadio, because every time for the election, they'll come down to the studio and be like, "Yo, Chief, you got a little time left. You better go hit your polling booth."
Wow.
And they'll let me leave. So, and Miss Rachel, I've heard your show a few times. I like to listen to everything. It's like I do homework, and I like the show. I just want to give you props on it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm trying to do something. What I feel like happens in our region, and this comes back to voting too, is we have all these little silos that we live in. You know what I mean? Only the brothers who believe in this are in this silo. Only the sisters who believe in this are in this silo. And it's like we got all these separate little houses, and we don't come out. And so on the show, I'm really trying to give everybody just a slice of life and people and information that they may not have been exposed to before. Because if we know more, that's the person who can do more, and I just think that if we lift everybody, they say a rising tide lifts all boats. We can create that with our voting. We got to pay attention. We got to vote, for these schools to be funded. That's our kids. Just the things like that. We got to vote for decent business environments, especially with COVID and so many people losing jobs. Business is black now, right? So, those are the things we can support. But sometimes we're so disconnected and off in our house with the door locked. I'm just hoping that the round table can be a place where people come out. And Chino, will you come on my show?
Sure. I'm with you. Let me know. I'm down. I do.
So you can tell me what's going on at iHeart, because I love your studio. I think Miss Oakland is cool over there. And, it's just like we can really team up and just get the people feeling more empowered. People don't vote because they don't feel empowered. Let's get people back to feeling good about themselves and our community and what we can do as a people. Because we may be 7%, but we are loud and proud 7%.
Okay.
We gotta get our registrators numbers up. I don't like that. I don't like those numbers that you put out earlier. We gotta get a movement to get everybody registered, and after we get them registered, we gotta make sure we get out there and vote in drones. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. There's actually a couple of groups I'm involved in that is doing some giant registration drives this month. So I'll get those links to you. And for those of you listening, it's not hard to do. You can Google voter registration in whatever state you're in, and there's actually a link. There's 2 links you can look for: one to update or one to register. Now, I'm gonna put something on the table that probably may start a little drama, but it's good. I believe we still have to. I do believe men have to still sign at 18 for selective service. I think that's still by law. If that's the case, why can't we register to vote at the same time?
Come on now.
If I have to register to be selected for the military, possible, why can't I register to have a vote to say something?
Wow.
There, hold on. There it is right there. Let me take my hat off for that one. I like that one. It is right there.
It's not a hard law. It's not, and that's something that it doesn't take hard to do, because here's the thing. Kids can register for selective service at school. Why can't they register for college? They register for college at school. They register to vote at school as well. And it's not hard to do. It's only certain classes you have to take for group or organization to become registered to vote people or to be a place to register for vote. So if schools are having all this funding and we're having all this stuff going on and the counselors are taking that time to go, let me register you for elective service, because I haven't done it in years, but I think it was like, where's your birthday? You live at, what's your age? Click. That's the exact same questions, except adding your address and I think your driver's license that goes to registering to vote.
So, sure, right.
And paste. So whoever listening, city council, senators, representatives, mayors, whatever position you're in, that's a question that I would love for you to be able to answer to your constituents. Okay.
I want to hear the answer to that too.
Okay.
I know. I'm fascinated with that myself.
That one is a good question. We need an answer for it. If you want to answer me directly, hey, I'm listening. But I think you answer that to the people instead. So
right.
All I know is I'm so motivated right now. I'm gonna go register to vote again.
Okay.
You know what? Take a friend with you. You know, they said they register, tell them to show it to you.
Like, register party. Let's get those going.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
You can go online to beatcolorado.com and we have a register you can a button to click to register on there, and you can go to the Beats Instagram page at Beat Colorado and hit it, click the link in the bio, and it'll take you to register to vote as well.
Oh man.
I did mine online just to make sure I was registered to vote, and I am. I just wanted to.
Okay.
It's on social media. When you bring up your social media, there's a little link in front of you, and you can click on that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's so easy.
Yeah.
We're talking 2 minutes.
Super easy. I see it every time I log into my Instagram. It's like, did you register to vote?
On all social platforms. Facebook, it's up at the top. Instagram, I know on my what is that? I got all the social things for the kids now. You know what I'm saying? Snapchat. It's on Snapchat. Everything that you open up social wise.
It's on Google.
Yeah.
Even
I keep telling them I voted, and they keep popping up, and I don't know when they're gonna stop.
I'm getting text messages from people and stuff nowadays. It's real.
Yeah, even the Colorado DMV page, they have it on there right there too. Yeah.
Hey, another little known fact as far as registering to vote. If you are currently 17 and you will turn 18 by the time of the voting, within 30 days of November the 3rd, you can register to vote now at the age of 17.
Oh, wow.
Didn't know that. You are dropping jewels today.
Okay.
If I stated that correctly, I know it's 17. I'm a little trying to make some more point, but these are things you can register. Just looking at stuff, man. Just researching, just find out. You know, if you really are truly about making sure things happen in a community, in your family, in the neighborhood, the main thing is voting. Voting at. We talked with Ms. Rachel already talked about the local. Don't forget, you got to go vote, because school board, guess what? They're passing certain laws or ideas about how they want to teach your kids in school next year. But nobody's there to stop the vote, so they're going to pass the vote. City council will decide when they're going to build a new building here, take one down there. They're going to make 1,000 jobs here. They're just going to move it someplace else. But nobody's there to stop or help with the vote. They saying you can have your house red, purple, green, but you can have this in front, because we'll make sure the value of our house will stay a certain place, because no one is there to register to vote. Y'all getting the idea, folks? In order for you to make a statement, don't wait till after it's happened to react. Be active, not reactive.
Right.
I'm stopping.
I'm going to bring up one other thing, and we don't have this conversation often enough. I was talking to someone who told me, it's so unfair that felons can't vote. In the state of Colorado, if you have completed your probation and or parole, you're eligible again. You understand? But a lot of people, they don't know this. So it's really going to be to us to kind of spread the word. And I'm like, once you paid your debt to society, you should, know that you are welcome to rejoin in everything that is your right. Making a mistake does not last forever. And I met Shaka St. Kaur once. He came here to speak. This was Oprah's 5th highest ratings on an interview ever. He wrote an amazing book called Righting My Wrongs. And he said, how in the world can you re-enter society if you ain't forgiven. Let's make sure to get that word out, because in some places, maybe not Colorado, but it depends on where you are, we have as many as 1/3 of the population among eligible Black voters that are male, that don't know, because, all these crazy laws they have that, locked you up for, 10 years for a misdemeanor. Now that that's over, thankfully, these people have their rights again. But, that's not the conversation we have every day.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up.
I feel like we have to talk about it, because I think a lot of us, we have someone in our family or among our friends that we need to carry that message to. Y'all listening? Carry that to somebody. Mention it to them. Your rights have been restored. You better use them to get what you want.
Don't we have 4 or 5 of the largest prison systems in Colorado? And when these guys and gals get released, they're right here in city and state. And that's something that's actually built to add to the population. They're not adding like you said, Ms. Rachel, they're not getting the right to vote again. If they have fully paid their debt to society, as they say,
right.
Listen, we forgot to tell you can come and vote now.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure who's supposed to be responsible to tell them, but any place we see lacking in the system, I don't have time to wait for somebody else to fix it. We need to show up and fix it. Malcolm X, I love a quote by him. He said, he's not running around begging nobody for freedom. He'll take it. And I think that's the attitude that we have to have. I'm not waiting for somebody to fix this system. You think the people who broke this system want to run around and fix it? No, get out of the way. We'll work on it.
Let's do it. I'm with you. I'm with you.
And I wanted to bring up one of the propositions that's on one of the bills that you can actually vote for this year. It's Proposition 113. And it's based off of, I know like on the last election that a lot of people were upset that the president was elected president because of the electoral votes and not because of the majority votes. And so Proposition 113 in Colorado, they're actually going to be joining the Popular Vote Interstate Compact, where whoever wins the national vote will get all of Colorado's electoral votes as well. So that can cause a change in that, as to where you can't say, oh, well, that means that these electoral votes will actually be going by the national vote. So if majority of people vote for that president, they're going to get Colorado's electoral votes, no matter what, no matter who won in the state. So
bottom line, that we chose him, he gets them.
Yes. Yeah. So just want to bring that up because I know a lot of people are angry about that. There is a way to stop that from happening again. So go and vote, and go vote for that bill if you agree with that.
This right here has been one of the best ones I've been in. Again, I've had some good ones. This has been a good one right here. Was there anything that you guys wanted to get across that I didn't ask you, or that you didn't speak on yet before we tie this thing off? Anything you guys want to get off your chest? Anything?
Hey, you know what? One thing I want to get off my chest is get up off your butt and get out here and vote. Don't give an excuse. Don't say you're tired. If you can call in sick to go to a concert, if you can take off early from work because you say you're saying you're not feeling good. If you can make any excuse for anything going on, do what you want to do that on election day. They ought to make election day National Call-in Sick Day.
It should be a national holiday.
Everybody
should get off for that. If it's that important.
Hey,
I don't know why we
bring that up. We should bring that to a vote.
Why should it not be a national holiday? Because guess what? On holidays, people do things they can do when they're not. If we're talking about our national election, why is it not a national holiday? We take off a Groundhog Day. Like I care about some darn groundhog, But I'm just being honest. I think it would be more productive and more positive for us to have that date off, so we really can have everybody who wants to and needs to vote available to do so. By not doing that, you're not really giving the majority a chance to make their decision. That's all I got to say.
Well, I don't have nothing to get off my chest, but I do want to let you know that Saturday is a very busy day. And I'm gonna let you know what I'm gonna do on Saturday. First, I'm gonna go hit up Beats and Sneaks with old Cheeve over there. I'm gonna go hang out there for about an hour or so, and then I'm gonna slide on over to John Adams Park. We're doing an unveiling of a mural that we're dedicating to Mr. Dunlap, Sam Uncle Bud Dunlap, at John Adams Park from 3 to 5 o'clock, and we're inviting everybody to come out. We're gonna have a mural that's going to be unveiled, and it's going to be one side dedicated to him and another side dedicated to unsung heroes of the community. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have Pizzeria Rustica. They're going to do like a showcase on throwing pizzas in the air, and it's going to be fun. And Mr. James Flowers' company will be providing the music. And then later on that night, after that, we're gonna go holler at Taliisa at her album release party. And I know she probably gonna tell you guys about it, but I want to tell you about it first, and then she can tell you. And then after Taliisa's album release party, I'm gonna go home, get some sleep, and then on Sunday, I'm gonna go to another place Taliisa will be performing at, and it'll be an open mic, and she'll be able to tell you a little bit more about that. Yeah. Shout out to Lovely Rebel. And that's it, man. You guys just make sure you guys just come have a good day on Saturday and Sunday. It's a good weekend to have fun. It's gonna be nice outside. There ain't gonna be too many more nice weekends coming. That's gonna end really soon. So take it.
Yeah, you know that Colorado weather.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Well, I just want to say that, use your power to vote. This is our opportunity to make changes in the community. And even if, we're not exactly happy with the national election, well, you still have a chance to make things happen in your state, in your hometown. So go ahead and go take advantage of that. It should be a responsibility to all of us as Americans. It is our right, and we really can make a change. And if you're not voting, then I don't want to hear no complaints, okay? And yes, also, as Dee was saying, I am having my single release party for God's Blueprint on this Saturday at the Gold Room. It'll be on at 7 p.m. I have two amazing openers coming in from Denver, Pedro Mayer and Gingy, and both of them are very soulful, very powerful, very authentic, and just love, spreading the love and spreading positivity. That's why I chose them. I also have a surprise in the middle of it. I don't want to give too much away, but there's going to be, I'll tell you, there's going to be an amazing dance group, and that's, I don't want to tell you too much about it, but they're going to be a part of it too, a new community outreach program coming through. And also it's just a great chance to get to know some of the local artists, get to know, come out again. The seats are limited, so I would recommend getting them online because there's a limited amount of seating, and everyone I've talked to personally has been saying that they're coming. So I don't know how many tickets are left, so get them while you can. That's on the Gold Room Live. And yes, I will also be performing at Soul Sunday at Club Tilt the day after, and that's an open mic. So I invite anybody out there who wants to come and just who hasn't been on stage, might be afraid, like it's all going to be love. Come and share your gifts. Come and share your poetry, comedy, your music, whatever you got. And one more thing, on November 7th, I am putting together a festival called the Got Love Festival, and it's an artist showcase and community empowerment festival. So if you're a vendor or a food truck or an artist or an entertainer who wants to be a part of that, please contact me and I'll get you a part of that for sure, because we just want to see the community building each other. We want to see more people supporting small businesses, supporting local artists, and supporting local music. So thank you guys.
Do your thing, girl. That is dope. I see you. I'm going to try to come and check you out this weekend.
Yeah, come through.
We got to get you in on our next Beats, Eats, and Sneaks so you can come out and perform.
I would love to. Thank you.
Miss Rachel?
I just want to encourage everyone in our community. Look, whether you vote or not, whether you see the outcome you want with this election or not. 2020 is the year of pulling together.
Yes.
We have to. We have to. And since Blackness is not monolithic, let's not let anything get in the way of that. I don't care what party you're with. It's not important. What's important is that this is a community. This is like a family. We are related in some ways by DNA. The DNA that colors us and creates our physical characteristics has bound us into a family, and we need to make sure we act like it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've heard the saying, some skin folk ain't kinfolk, but we need to throw that out. How about all our skin folk act like kinfolk, and we getting this thing and winning? Let's do that.
All right.
So your voting can be a part of that if you so choose.
Yes.
Word up. Mr. James.
Oh, I already said my part.
All right, word up. You said your part. That's everybody. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys and gals being on this town hall. This is a good one. I can't wait for everybody to see this and feel the power and the education and just the togetherness of this. I don't know. I'm hyped up. I get goosebumps on these things, man.
I know it.
These are
and
real
good. Too.
This is what we need these, and we're gonna have more of these. I'm bugging my ear for. We're gonna talk about tax later on too. We're gonna get into a tax later on. Yeah, that's gonna be real nice. I appreciate every one of you guys being here today, taking your time out to get in this Voice of Change town hall. It's all about voting. You've heard everybody already tell you, no matter who you vote for, make sure you get out there and vote for the president or for the city. You know what I mean? Saying, get out there, be heard. All right.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all. If y'all need me for anything that you guys get to do down the road, please get a hold of me. All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate everybody being here. Word up.
Okay.